as the track and field summer season draws closer. Just 4 weeks out from my season opener and less than 80 days before the Olympic trials, I'm ready to continue the grind and keep hunting down that 20.16 Olympic 200 metre qualifying time. In this episode, I take on some brutal speed endurance sessions, work on my block start technique, and even make a change to my training spikes. There's not much time left before I'll be on the start line, so I've got to get to work. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been plugging away and continuing to get the work done both in the track and the gym. As we've now entered into April, the volume has stayed high whilst the intensity is beginning to creep up a little bit. The upcoming weeks will be some of the toughest training weeks of the entire process, so it is important that I can recover well and get as many quality sessions in as possible. We're now at week 30 of the journey, so let's get into the video and see what the next couple of weeks have in store for me.
So you'll have probably seen me run in these spikes pretty often. Adizero SP2, which is what I'm running in most of the time. But I've had a bit of advice, a few people in the comments actually mentioned it as well, that the super spikes might be a little bit harsh on my tendons to be running in every single day. So we're going to try something different today. I have some Adizero Finesse. So I'm going to wear these for the session, 5x50 out of blocks, and see if my feet thank me for it tomorrow. It feels really weird wearing these, having so used to wearing the SP2. Let's get bopped up, let's go.
What's happening, guys? It's your boy Corey, and that was pretty weird. But today we're just running. Feel a bit tired. Camera angles are changing constantly. I don't know where to look. But we're here now. What's happening over here? I feel like I'm on this channel quite a bit down.
Yeah, you might be the fan favourite now, you know. That's what the people are saying.
Is it? If the people are talking, that's what they're hearing in the big stand. Right, session completed. The start feels a little bit sluggish, as to be expected. My first time running out of the blocks in a couple of weeks, but my foot's held up, which I'm happy about now. I just have to kind of see how I go. The next running session is Sunday. That's this block finished. But I thought I'd include it for the start of the new block, start of the new vlog, end of the block. New block starts Sunday. The new spikes are definitely a lot more strange to deal with. You're slightly shorter. You don't have the foam extra inch. And I feel like the transition's a little bit adjusted for it. But overall, fairly happy with the session. First kind of 5 or 6 steps need some work, pinging out the blocks, but we'll get there. We'll rest up now, nothing tomorrow, rest day, and then from Sunday, we're into the full programme. Here we are, outdoor track. The start of a new block. It is Sunday and we have a tough session to start the block. 220, 2x180, 2x150, and the pace is around 22 dead through 200. That's like the pace I'll be running at. Slightly quicker actually, maybe like high 21, low 22. rolling start, about 8-minute recovery between the 220 and the 180s, and then we might drop down to about 6 minutes. It's not a bad day, it's a bit chilly, but ready to put the work in. So finish this warm up, let's go.
Alright, so we're back in for a speed endurance session today. 220, the first rep to go off. The pace for this, as I mentioned before, is low 22. So we're looking at building that speed endurance, stay nice and tall and relaxed throughout all of the runs, because it is a tough session to be fair. So the first run, I'm basically just looking to go through 200 in my target time, which is low 22, and round the run off nicely. We did come through bang on pace, which was about 24.4. Moving on to the first rep of the 180s, so just 1 220 and then 2 180s and 2 150s was the session. Richard went for it on this run, this was quick. I think Richard came through in like high 18, I was just trailing a little bit behind. On the second 180 we tried to keep it on pace, which was 19, got the job done nicely. And then moving on to the 150s right at the end. Last rep of the session upcoming, and yeah, unfortunately I've managed to get cramp on the last run of the session, which was a bit frustrating, but nevertheless still got some good work in.
Once again, we've got the Prime SP1s today. Obviously it's going to be marginally slower doing the runs because you're not wearing super spikes, but I don't mind. Get the work done, and then when I put the super spikes back on, it'll just feel even better. That's the plan anyway.
Power structure. 3, 2.
Thursday today, speed session, running out of the blocks once again. Halfway through the warm-up. We're going to see how we get on. Some 40s, 50s and 60s today. Only some of them are going to be out of blocks, I think. I'll double check, but yeah, I'm going to get into it now. I finished my warm-up, pretty much anyway. I'm going to do some drills in spikes. This week, well, not just this week, we're going to be running in these Adidas Prime SP, the original SP1, as opposed to what everyone will be used to me running in, which is the Prime SP2. I've been running in these, racing in these for the last couple of years. Really love the spike, nothing wrong with them. It's just these are a little bit more malleable and should be slightly more forgiving on my body. They're probably, obviously, maybe slightly slower, but it's a trade-off for my feet to be happy with me. It's just an experiment. Obviously, there's nothing absolutely confirmed with this. It's just, I've had a few people advise me and it makes sense. So it's something that I'm willing to try to see if it just helps my body and makes me feel a bit better day to day. So that's what we're going with today. Block session, Prime SP1. Let's get it. These are already preset, which is nice. I'm focusing on trying to keep my hips low through the first few steps and really try and extend. That's something that will come as I get sharper, but really trying to get the most out of my first 3 steps is what I'm looking for today. Get blocked up, practice start, and then we're in.
So getting the block session underway, as I mentioned previously, the aims are to make the most of my first 3 steps, be aggressive, achieve full extension. The first 30 is the weak point of my race, so that's where I'm looking to make some improvements. And after getting absolutely cooked by Richard on the first rep, I knew that I had to lock in if I was going to get myself in the mix out of the blocks.
Done a good speed session today. Chat to the people. Have you got any words of wisdom for the block session that we've just done today?
Yeah, today was it was the first block session. It's the first time me and Joe have done blocks together. For me personally, it was the first time I've done blocks since my indoor race. So what happens is usually when you go into blocks, sometimes it all goes to pot suddenly when you're putting the pressure and you're racing each other. Joe in particular, he was his first step, so his back pedal in the block was a little bit slack, and he was kind of flicking his foot out and just throwing it to the ground as opposed to actually loading the back block, punching the back block and firing his thigh forward. He just lost a little bit of control of the lower shank, so his shin and his foot got a little bit slack, and he just wasn't quite getting that first step down purposefully and with any intent into the track. So Joe lost a little bit in the first few steps. For me, I was a little bit ragged. I was a bit tense through the shoulders. I always am generally. When I'm running good, I'm not, but most of the time when I'm just generally I'm a little bit stiff, and I was lifting with my upper body as opposed to driving my shoulders and torso forward out the blocks.
Would you say, in terms of, because I know a lot of people watching will probably think, you know, when you're doing block starts, everyone wants to be competitive, right? And you want to get out quick and you want to compete with the people alongside you and you want to feel fast. But what would you say to the people who don't know whether to go for more technique or more to just feel fast? So say if we're doing a 60 meters in training, is the aim to try and work on your technique and come out the blocks clean, even if you temporarily have to sacrifice a bit of speed, or just really go for that speed adaptation?
If you can't hit the right positions and move correctly at sub-maximal speeds at 80-90%, then you're certainly not going to be able to do them when you've got adrenaline and you're against another 7 people who are going to try and get from that line to that line quicker. So it's really important that you're able to hit the correct positions, and if that means temporarily doing them a little bit slower, then that's good. And then slowly, as you start to ingrain them technical positions, slowly start to do it more forcefully, put more intent into the steps, and the easier you'll be able to hit those positions when you're producing higher forces with higher step frequency and longer step lengths.
Alright, so we're in the gym, finishing my week off strong, gym session. Been a good week, very solid week. Got a lot of work done, got a lot of volume in. I'm glad I pushed through on Thursday. Happy with the session. I was struggling with my reaction time and block clearance for the first few, but training with Richard has helped a lot. Now I finally feel like I'm getting into a flow of training again, getting some consistent volume in. So I'm excited over the next few weeks to get stuck in and to get myself in the best shape that I've been in during the whole winter phase. I'll be competing in like 5 weeks, so it's getting close now. I want to feel like I'm really in shape within the next 4 weeks.
So after getting a solid weeks of training in, it's now a new week, it's week 31 of the journey, and we're back at the outdoor track on a Sunday for a different type of Sunday session today. We're kicking off the week strong with 6 150s, and the pace is upped from what we normally do as we begin the build towards the summer season. The aim with this session is to achieve good speed endurance. At the end of the day, they're 150, so they're not quite the 200, but we're running them fast. The target time is 15 seconds. It's with a rolling start, so we're getting them underway here with the first rep. All on pace. I believe the first one was 15.4. Back that up with another 15.5. This rep was quick. The third one we went sub 15, 14.9 I believe from a rolling start. And then we had a quick break getting into the second set, so we do 6 altogether, 6 minutes in between each rep and 8 to 10 minutes between the sets. Getting into the final rep, the pain kicks in and you just got to give it what you've got. Managed to come home in sub 15 for the last rep as well, which I was happy with. This is actually the best I've felt in a speed endurance session so far.
We've got a massive tailwind, but they've been quick. That was 14.8 rolling 150. Fast session, nice tailwind which did help. Started to get consistent. I can feel it paying off. That's probably the best I've got through a session and not falling apart towards the end. Back at the indoor track. 90 metres, 80 metres, 70 metres, times 2 I think. No messing about. You know the drill. Warm up, spike up. See you in a bit.
Power structure.
There we are. Happy with the session. Very happy. 6 runs. Got them all done. Nice to get some volume rolling again. That's all I'm focused on now. Not worrying about numbers, not worrying about nothing. Get the runs in. And that's what I'm happy about. So yeah, it's the start of a pretty good week. Yesterday I did circuit training, shuttle circuits. I didn't really film much because you've seen it all before. So tomorrow I'm in the gym. And Thursday we have a block session again. It's tough to kind of figure out if it'll be better or worse because I'll be sharper and I'll have had more stimulus to feel good, but also I'll be more tired because I've done more work. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but regardless, all I'm focused on for the next 4 weeks, as I've mentioned like 50 times already, is just getting the work done. But it's all looking good. I'll catch you in the gym tomorrow.
Forget what I just said there because we're actually back on the track. I'll insert a couple clips from the gym session that I did previously, but essentially the Wednesday gym session is the same as what it was last week. The only difference was I upped the front squats to 100 kg as opposed to 95 or 90. But yeah, we're back on the track for Thursday session. It's the block starts today again. I'm hoping to put a better performance in than I did last week, although I am feeling the fatigue now from a heavy week's training. So let's get warmed up, get blocked up, and see how I get on today.
Yep, that's us over and out for the session, feeling very fatigued. One thing I will say, after trying out non-super spikes for a couple of weeks, overall I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to run all my tempo sessions and sessions without blocks with the non-super spikes, which at the moment I'm using the Prime SP1. But for this block session I'm going to wear the Prime SP2 super spikes. Reason being, it's very strange setting my blocks up in spikes that I'm not used to because the platform's different. You don't have the wedge, and the midsole, the mid portion of the sole curves outwards a bit more. So
I'm struggling with where to place my foot on the block, and I'm sliding quite a lot, which I don't have that problem with my normal spikes because obviously I've adapted my foot placement. But you live and learn. Happy to get the work done regardless. Definitely feeling the fatigue today, but that's what we're about on this channel. We'll show you it all, you know, the good days, the bad days. Still got some work in. I'm gonna go home, recover, eat, sleep. Got a gym session tomorrow. So yeah, that's it for today. Catch you in the gym tomorrow. It's been a good couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks, I will say. Although yesterday I was feeling the fatigue a little bit. But all in all, I'm happy with the progress that's been made. We do have the first couple races of the season planned out. It's now less than 1 month until my season opener. My first race of the season will be on the 11th of May. And then I have another race that's going to be on the 15th of May. So those are the two that I've got planned so far. I'm looking to get another 2 or 3 races booked before the end of May, start of June. With the first major competition being the European Championships, which are like the second week in June. Appreciate all the support on the episodes. I'll catch you all on Sunday for the start of the next episode and the start of another big week of training. See you all later.